Am I real? No. No? What about you? You are real. No.
According to quantum physics, no.
Nobody's real. Perhaps we are just imagining it. How do you know we're not imagining it? What about a president? Is he real? No. Let me check to see if he is real. I can touch him. I can see you. Can you speak?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear him. I can touch him. I can hear him. And I can see him. Is that enough evidence to say that he is real? As if we take it for granted. That if we can see something, that if we can touch it, hear it, if we can kill it, if we can throw tomatoes at it, it must be real. Now, okay, before anybody says, Rasih's gone crazy, get him off the stage quick, I better tell you about the story of two strange men in a tram. This is a true story. In the 1920s in Bern, Switzerland, two men, young men in their late 20s, friends, one of them German, the other one Danish, were going to and from work by tram every day. And they were getting in a heated discussion, sometimes quiet, and sometimes very loud. And sometimes they were arguing in German. And of course, in Bern, Switzerland, people speak German. But in the tram, nobody understood what these two strange men were talking about. Sometimes the German guy would get angry and start shouting. He would say, "Nein, nein, there's something wrong in your theory." Nein is, of course, no in German. And the passengers would be shocked. I mean, why are these guys shouting? What are they talking about? And this happened day after day after day. They got into a heated discussion and they forgot to get off at the stop they should get off. So they continued with the tram and then they came back and they forgot to get off again because they got into a discussion. One day the German guy got really angry and he said, "You mean to tell me that the moon isn't there when I'm not looking?" The passengers were shocked. I mean, a normal person would not say something like, "You mean to tell me that the moon is not there when I'm not looking?" Another time, the German guy said, "I refuse to believe that God placed dice with the laws of the universe." Before the passengers could even understand what he said, the Danish guy shouted back, "Stop telling God what to do!" This went day after day after day, and the passengers didn't understand anything. The Danish guy was trying to convince the German guy about something, but he couldn't. Sometimes he came up with a very difficult question, and the German guy got depressed. He went home at night, he thought about it, he found the answer, and he came back with another counter question to the Danish guy. This time the Danish guy got depressed. It went on and on. One day the Danish guy got depressed, the other day the German guy got depressed. What were they discussing? Nobody understood. And who do you think might be in 1920s in Bern? The Danish guy. Any suggestions? You know, don't tell.
I know.
I heard.
Football.
Who?
Bohr?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, Bohr.
Wow.
Niels Bohr, the father of quantum physics. And who do you think the German guy that he was trying to convince was?
Einstein.
That's right, Einstein. Now, why would the father of quantum physics try to convince Einstein? First of all, what were they talking about? Two physicists. Physics? Well, yes, they started talking about physics, and then they started arguing. But then the discussion got into philosophy from physics. They were discussing about what is real and what is not. What is the definition of reality? Now, why would two physicists, this is a philosophical question, why would two physicists discuss philosophy? What is real and what is not? Because the quantum physicists had found very strange things as a result of their experiments. They found that what David Hume, the Scottish philosopher, said in the 19th century was true. What did David Hume say in the 18th century? He said that reality is nothing more than the perception and thoughts of humans. There is no reality outside of our thoughts. Now this was just a philosophy that could not be proved because science was not advanced enough. But with the advent of quantum physics and the experiments, the quantum physicists claimed that there is a probability distribution of everything that can happen. And one of them becomes reality when we observe. The others also become physical realities in parallel universes. Sounds like science fiction. And how did they come up with this? Well, there were some experiments, the most famous one of which is the double slit experiment. But in an 8 to 10 minute speech, I don't have the time to get into that. I will talk about the double slit experiment in another speech. But what it means is that reality is based on human observation. Reality is not independent of human observation. And Einstein was completely against this. That's why he was protesting. He was saying that's impossible. Reality is independent of human observation. Now, what does it mean to say that reality is based on human observation? Well, for example, if I turn my back on you, as far as I'm concerned, you might still be there, or you may not still be there. You might say, Rasih, we can see your backside. How do I know that you can see my backside? You may be already disgusted with my speech and have left me already. It's only when I turn my face to you that I can still see that you were still there. See, this is very simplification. Actually, it's more detailed than that. But the main thing that they could not agree on is there reality beyond human observation, or isn't there? Einstein was saying that reality does not depend on human observation, and the quantum physicists, based on their experiments, were saying that reality is based on human observation. But okay, why should the quantum physicists care about what Einstein thought? Why were they so eager about winning Einstein on their side? Because Einstein had already become famous in the scientific community. In 1905, he had published the special theory of relativity. In 1916, the general theory of relativity. And in 1919, what he said about space and gravity in the general theory of relativity was proved to be right by an observation of the solar eclipse by a British astronomer named Sir Arthur Eddington. And in 1921, Einstein was given the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on the photoelectric effect. So, he was very well respected in the scientific community. People in the Tram did not know him, the general public. But in the scientific community, he was very well respected. And if he said that quantum physics is wrong, then there is no way that the quantum physicists can convince the scientific community around the world that they were right. That's why they were very eager to win Einstein to themselves. But they could never agree. Einstein continued to say that reality is independent of human observation. But all the experiments that the quantum physicists were doing, that I will explain in another speech, strongly supported the existence of parallel universes, and that it's our observations that determine what is reality for us. Now, if you are interested in this subject, I recommend that you read the book called Quantum, Einstein, Bohr, and the Great Debate about the Nature of Reality. It explains these discussions and these subjects in detail. Now, if two of the greatest physicists in history cannot agree on what is real and what is not, on the definition of reality, can we even come close to saying what reality is or is not? Can you be sure that I'm real? And can I be sure that you are real?